Hi, this is Kylie with Fem and Flow. I hope everyone's having a great day. Today, I wanted to do a special episode because we have a new moon coming up on Monday, September 2nd. So, I'm putting out two episodes this week so I can talk about this and everyone can use their weekend to get clear on what they want out of life, the dream version of themselves, the best version of themselves and can really strategize this weekend. So on Monday, you can do the manifestation and creation techniques I talk about and really step into a new you. New moons are very significant. They're a time for new beginnings, and a new moon is the start of a new lunar cycle. And it's a great time to set intentions, make plans, manifest, and plant seeds for the future. It's also a great time for reflection and introspection. So definitely take time to be self aware, self observant, look inwards, and meditate on this. And this new moon is especially important because of all the astrology surrounding September. And we also just finished the Lionsgate portal, which I talked about in another episode, I believe, but it was a time of extremely potent energy. And I'll get a little more into that later. I talk a lot about in other podcasts about how outside of this, there's actually many different experiences that we can incarnate into. And this earth experience is just one. And then we have the different dimensions, which are just different frequency bands of energy, essentially. And I talked about how in every experience, the fourth dimension is the dimension of archetypes, myths, and the collective mind. And I talk about in other episodes how our Earth fourth dimension was essentially hijacked, and these beings put down a false matrix on Earth to essentially control and manipulate humanity. But I briefly mentioned before that there's other archetypes essentially on Earth that weren't hijacked. They predated this hijacking and control, I guess you could say. And astrology is actually one of those original archetypes of the fourth dimension of Earth. And if you think about it, all of the zodiacs are archetypes of this energy. And astrology has to do with our constellations and our stars and where our planet is positioned in the universe. And all of that just creates a unique and energy pattern or energy sequence. And as you know, I talk about it a lot, but everything is just energy. Specifically, everything is just energy vibrating at a specific frequency. And that translates into our universe, and it's really, really cool. But when you boil it all down, everything is just energy. So I thought that was cool. I just wanted to add that in since we're talking about astrology here. And I think that's so cool that zodiacs are essentially archetypes of this astrology. And astrology is just energy patterns and energy sequences of how we're aligned in the universe, how our planet is aligned. So I thought that was pretty unique. I just wanted to add that. But if you think about how astrology is energetic alignment, energy patterns, and energy sequences, and then the zodiacs that represent these alignments, the zodiacs are archetypes. So we can look at these archetypes to explain what is going on in this earth experience. That's the whole point of a fourth dimension. It sets the vibe of that experience. So, yes, we can absolutely look at what's happening with astrology to understand what's going on with the energy in this experience. But the astrology of September is all about moving forward and forward momentum. there's a huge energy of purging, specifically anything no longer needed since 2008. And this is because on September 1st, Pluto re enters Capricorn for the last time in our lifetime. And this signifies the beginning of the end of a transformative era. And that transformative era began January 2008. So basically, we want to take everything we learned during that era, that period, and we're really taking the lessons we learned. We're moving forward with the good stuff. We're letting go of the bad. That's why it's so important to be introspective and self aware and really take some time to go inward and think about this. So, everything during that period, we're going to take it, purge, and we're truly moving forward and stepping into a new version of ourselves. And then September 2nd brings the new moon in Virgo. And like I mentioned, new moons are a time for new beginnings. And this is such an important one following the energy of that September 1st purge energy. And think about how we had the Lionsgate portal energy in August. And if you follow the Schumann resonance, then you already know we had massive amounts of this high frequency energy coming in. We were basically being blasted by light energy all August. So think about it like we've had all this high frequency energy absolutely blasting us for the past month. And then on September 1st, we have a big purge, purging everything of this era since 2008, everything we've learned, really taking all of that in, letting go of the bad. And that's right before we step into a new beginning during the new moon on September 2nd, where we step into a new version of ourselves. We're taking all of that potent high frequency energy of August, then we're using that purge energy of September 1st, letting go all of this bad, learning the lessons, and then the energy on September 2nd is just going to absolutely catapult us forward. So that's the background, and now I'll get into some practical ways you can prepare for this new moon on September 2nd. I'm personally going to really set aside some time this weekend to just have a personal strategy session. So if this all resonates, definitely do the same, but I'll get into exactly what you should be thinking and strategizing about. First off, get very clear on what you want and who you want to be. This is the whole point of the strategizing that you're going to do. And you can do this by journaling about it, saving different inspo on TikTok, Pinterest, or wherever you get your inspiration from. And take the time to reflect and be very introspective. Really look at your life and think about what you really love from it and how you see yourself growing or changing in the future. And moving forward, make this kind of thing a habit. Just do it constantly. Always be saving inspirational photos that you like or things you want to incorporate into your life. Just constantly be gathering that so you always have a direction on where you want to go. Otherwise, if you're just starting fresh, it might be a little more confusing and you might not know exactly what you want out of life. But if you're constantly just saving it when you see things you like, then you have a better idea as you're just navigating through this life. I just think it's so great to always be dreaming and always be thinking of a life with no constraints. And when you're dreaming and thinking about how you want your life to be, don't make it a linear path. It doesn't have to be a linear path with little steps. Think about it more like quantum leap vibes. It doesn't have to be realistic. You don't have to have some game plan or climb some ladder. Truly just dream of a life and dream of your future self and who you want to be, literally with no constraints. That's what I want you thinking about here. And when you're doing your strategizing, that's how I want you to approach it. Then, once you know where you want to go and have all this awesome strategy and inspiration, and you have this great idea of the future you, your dream you, who you want to step into, the next gratitude journal and get in that emotional frequency of gratitude. Get in a comfy spot, light a candle if that's good, whatever makes you feel good. Do that and write about things you're thankful for. And the goal of this exercise is to truly radiate that emotional frequency and truly feel it in your heart. Your heart may feel really expanded and really magnetic. You might have tears come to your eyes. I really think you'll truly feel it emotionally in your chest and in your heart. And once you're in that emotional frequency, do the intention emotion exercise. I've talked about it before, but I'll go over it again. And really, on the big picture, we're just writing down an intention or what we want to create. And then we're tying emotions to it of how we expect to feel if we stepped into that situation or that manifestation came into our reality. Because, like I talk about all the time, it's all about our emotional frequency and what frequencies via our emotion we are putting out into the quantum field. Take your piece of paper and on the left hand side, write intention, and on the right hand side, write emotion. So then think about it and go down and write your different intentions or things you want to manifest into your life, or intentions that go along with this version of yourself that you want to step into. And it doesn't have to be super specific. Then in the emotion column, write down all of the emotions you expect to feel if that intention came true. You want to feel that emotion and be radiating that emotional frequency so that goes out into the quantum field and pulls in outcomes of that same frequency or that same vibration. And when you're sitting there, sitting in that emotion and feeling it ahead of that actual outcome or experience coming into your reality, you're sitting there and you're like a frequency tower or a beacon just sending that out. And like attracts like. So that's the frequency of the kind of outcomes that will then be pulled back into your own reality. Because remember, this is all quantum physics, and this is just how this reality and how our universe works. I like to do this and write down all of my intentions and all of my emotions. I do that first, all the way through, and then I go back through and really take my time and read the intention again and really stop and take the time to truly feel those different emotions in my heart. Definitely don't rush through this part. You want to really focus on reading that intention and truly, truly feeling that in your heart. When you're feeling it, that's what you're radiating frequency wise. And some of the emotions I like to feel are love, abundance, freedom, fun, enlightenment, compassion, gratitude, peace, awe and wonder, excitement, and limitless. And then once you do this and spend a good amount of time on this, if you want to and if you have time and you're still feeling good, then you can write down in script and journal about specific scenarios and specific outcomes, and journal and write like the thing already happened and you're experiencing it, or you already experienced it and how you feel, and write about the emotions you would expect to feel in this situation or scenario. But if you don't have time, you can skip that step and go straight into the meditation portion. This is a really important part where you really act as a beacon for that frequency. And you can do a guided meditation if you like that, or you could do one with a nice background sound. Really, it's whatever you prefer. you can probably look up a meditation on YouTube or use that app Insight Timer, really whatever you prefer. But the key here is to really silence your mind and get your brain waves in theta. And then when your brain waves are in theta, you really want to feel those high frequency emotions in your heart. When you feel that in your heart, you're truly sending that frequency out into the quantum field. So during this meditation, when you're in silence and feeling really calm, then start to visualize and think about your intentions and visualize yourself living out your dreams and living your dream life with no constraints. Just visualize what you would be doing, how you would be feeling when you do step into that version of yourself that you want to be. And just focus on visualizing that, whatever scenarios come into play, or if you have some specific things you want to do in your life, really just think about that. And like I mentioned, just truly feel those emotions in your heart. You could even hold your hands over your heart if that helps. Do whatever feels right and do whatever time limit you enjoy. Usually I'll do 30 minutes of this, but truly the longer the better. So, really, whatever you prefer and whatever feels right. So, definitely do this on September 2nd, the day of the new moon. But you can do this anytime to intentionally be creating your reality and manifesting. We truly want to be intentional creators of our life. And you can do this every day if it feels right. But remember, truly treat this new moon like you are about to step into a new you, a new version of yourself. So get very, very clear on what that looks like. So use this weekend to do a strategy session to save some inspiration and just get clear. And like I said, if you want to Pinterest or save different photos, or even if you wanted to put that into a PowerPoint, if you like that kind of stuff, and just get so clear on what you want and who you want to be. It's going to be so, so powerful. And like I mentioned, let go of thinking in terms of a linear path or climbing a certain ladder or prerequisite. Let all of that go and let go what you consider or society considers quote unquote realistic. Let all of that go. And truly, when you do this, think about it in terms of no constraints and truly the dream you, your dream life, the best version of yourself. So happy strategizing, happy manifesting, and just live in those high frequency emotions that you want the outcome that's pulling into your reality to match. And as you do all of this, really remember all of the background I gave about all of this high frequency energy coming in during the Lionsgate portal in August. If you want to go look up videos about what the Schumann resonance was doing so you can get a visual of what was all going on, definitely go do that. I think that could be really interesting and really enlightening if you haven't seen that yet. And remember, we're ending this transformational era that started in 2008. So that's some good that's some good stuff. So just remember that. Remember that we're going to purge and we are really stepping into a new version of ourselves. So I just think it's so important to remember all of that background while we're doing this so we truly know how important and how magical this time is. So I love you all. Have a good weekend. And if you like my podcast, definitely subscribe, share with a friend or a loved one who you think it might resonate with, and just have a great weekend. Talk to you later. Bye.